Start this meeting. I've turned the recording on. I want to say thank you for being on this call. This is probably going to be one of our shorter ones because our next call I'm going to make it a little bit longer. And if I need to change the time, you all are going to decide. I've got 2 more that just came in. You all are going to decide what time that meeting is going to be. All right, because, and I'll get into that in a minute, but that'll be a longer meeting because you all are going to have to, we're going to have a true discussion at that meeting as a class. And we're going to work on a project together during that time. I don't want to make it over 45 minutes if we don't have to, but I do want to get some class interaction on the next meeting, which is February 18th. So before we leave here tonight, you all are going to help me decide if I need to leave that time where it is or if we need to change it. Okay?
Great.
All right. Jamal came on. I've just got Jamal, which one are you on here? I don't see you. What, really? I'll have to look again. Because I know you're supposed to be here. Oh, there it is. Okay. And who was my I'm sorry. I'm trying to take attendance so I know who's here. And I don't know who 806-891 is. So hopefully they'll come on and let me know who it is. Anyway, on the syllabus, I know we had issues with the first quiz. I apologize for that. I didn't realize that I had made a quiz marker to save it. And then I developed the quiz. And so that was all my fault. And I apologize for that. But we got it all under control, I think. And we, I graded everybody that took it. Now, there were a couple that didn't take it. Hopefully they realize that and they'll move forward from that as well. Your next assignment, and just real quick, I noticed on the syllabus, for anybody who took a chance to look at it, I had the Zoom meetings down and I had 2 of them listed in February, one on the 12th and one on the 18th. The one on the 12th is a no bueno. That's incorrect. All right, so scratch that one off. And that was in part 2, which starts next week. So that Zoom meeting will not happen. I moved that Zoom meeting to the 18th, which is, the week following. So we'll see if that works. I'm trying to move the Zoom meetings around so it's not the same day and the same time every time, so that I can get more of you involved in the meeting itself, because I feel like that's important. With this class, I've not taught this class in probably 4 years. So some things have changed. So I'm trying to do it a little bit differently and get more of the student engagement. Actually, no, it's been longer than 4 years because the last time I taught this class, it was face-to-face. So it's been a little bit longer than that, but I'm excited to be back in it. We are going to have a speaker come on. Kyle Williams, our athletic director, is going to come and talk to you one time. And then I'm working on getting another athletic director that I know personally to come on and speak a little bit in the area of finance. Because you'll notice the book I chose has a lot about sport marketing, not a whole bunch about sport finance. And so that is a challenge. I didn't want to make you buy 2 books. I feel like books are expensive enough as it is. And so I think I had you just buy 2 books, the Contemporary Sport Management and the Case Studies. How many of you got the Case Studies book? Did you all get it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you're going to have 3, I'm selecting 3 case studies out of this, and most of them are going to be in sport marketing. But I want to utilize 3 of the studies that are in here, and that's what we're going to do on the 18th. Is I'm going to assign you a case study to look at and to work on, and then we're going to discuss what you came up with for it. All right, because I like the case studies as a teaching tool because it puts you in that situation of that sport manager. And for me, that's something that I feel like is beneficial. Because how many of you right now have been involved in sport administration in some form or fashion professionally? Right, I knew you had. Jamal, I knew you had. And I know, Charlie, you are, just because you're the coach for the cycling team.
Yeah.
Dree, I see you came on.
Yes, ma'am.
So glad to have you with us. So that's why I want to do that. Otherwise, I'm pretty much going to follow the course of the book for the chapters I put down. I like this book. This is actually a different edition of the book that I used in my doctoral program. And when I used it, one of my professors was one of the authors, hence I'm sure that's why we used it. But I like the book. I like the content. I like the way that it's designed. It's laid out. So that's why I like to use that book. And this should, for some of you, should be the second or third time we've used this book. So hopefully we lowered the cost for you on that, because I do like to use it. But that's what we're going to do as far as how we're going to use that sport marketing for case studies. And I have another case studies that I may throw in and change. I did not have you buy that book. So if I pull something from that book, I will put it up on the website as a PDF. So you all will have access to the same information. All right. How many of you have worked with, and I know Jamal, you have, Charlie, you've worked with finances, but working with finances when you're looking at an overall organization or overall program, how much experience does anybody in here have? And what is that level of that experience? Were you accountable for it? Were you the one responsible for developing it? What processes have you all been involved with dealing with the finance end? Nothing?
Nothing.
Paul, are you trying to talk and you're muted?
Can you hear me, Dr. Shaver?
Is that Jamal?
No, this is Ben.
Ben?
Yes.
Ben, is yours the phone number that comes up?
I'm guessing so. I'm having to call in from a soccer game right now. I'm working.
Oh, Gitz. Ben Gitz, right?
No, Patterson.
Dang it, I was trying. I really was.
No worries.
Go ahead, Ben.
So as far as finance goes, I've been an athletic trainer for 8 years now, so I've been in charge of developing and managing a budget. But in that time, I also got the opportunity to build 2 new athletic training rooms. And so our school had gone through a bond process. And so I got to be involved in that, as well as developing the budget for all of the equipment and things like that go into it. And then, managing a budget for being the coach of a softball team, fundraising and things like that. So that's really the extent of my experience in any type of finance. But, still some there where we were accountable for the things that we were spending, had a fixed budget, but also could fundraise on top of that to supplement that budget.
Okay. What about anybody else? Charlie, I know you've had some aspects of finance just through the cycling team, right? Working with the provost.
Yeah, I do budget proposals. It's a directorship, and so it's budget proposals, allocations, and then managing various accounts from M&O to travel, scholarships, 2 different funds for scholarships. So yeah, staying on budget and everything else is a challenge here at MSU.
Okay.
We have a very large state to traverse.
Right. Anybody else, now that you know what we're looking for? No? Okay, how about let's flip it. Let's look at what experience do you have in marketing? For marketing your sport, marketing your avenue, marketing your program, whatever. What is the level of marketing experience you guys have in this class?
Can you hear me now, Doc?
Yes, Jamal, I can.
Okay. Well, maybe my experience with the finance was kind of like with the first guy, Ben was saying, as far as with my program, allocating the money to whichever funds, wherever I needed to go, working on the budget, buying all the equipment and things like that for the team, fundraising as well. As far as marketing, other than having to go pretty much next door to the middle school and, market cross country and track to those guys, it's not much as far as marketing, but I have seen it. I've seen some programs, that are just huge and they have hundreds of parents involved and sponsors, company sponsors and things like that. So,
right.
but as far as for me personally, I haven't had to do it.
Anybody else for marketing? And even if you go back and look at your undergraduate, if you got your undergraduate, say in sport management somewhere, surely you had some assignments or something in that realm of marketing or finance. What else? What other experiences do folks have? And I'm trying to get an idea, because if you look on the syllabus, you are going to have to do a sport marketing plan, and you're going to have to do a finance plan. That's coming up. This is an 8-week course, so I'm trying to get a feel for how in depth I can go with this. Or because it's not going to be, if you've never done one and you get thrown to the wolves, you could be sinking pretty quick without a life vest. And so I just need to know where I am so I don't overload you, because the last thing I want to do is cause you all to have too much angst and feel like I'm out to get you, because that's not really the case.
Well, I remember I had to do a business proposal, finance and things like that, when I was in another type of class for another degree. But if you were going to open up your own clinic, because I'm also a chiropractor, so if you're going to open up your own clinic, you had to come up with the finance plan and building plans and things like that. Hire staff, stuff like that. So that's been a while. Whew.
Right.
I don't have any marketing experience as far as that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, my marketing experience has all been informal. I'm doing now something that I never really had a whole lot of formal training in. You get hired as a coach with this program more based on your knowledge of fitness and cycling than you do branding and things like that. So I've kind of just what I've learned on the fly with website management and social media and things like that. So I think the basic degree that probably anyone that uses social media knows how to market themselves and has a somewhat intuitive grasp of marketing. I have, but I don't think it goes beyond that.
Right.
Creating formal plans and things like that.
Right.
So I'm gonna-
Yeah. For me, honestly, the only experience I say I've had is just in class. I've taken a class where we had to work on budgeting, and they give us an amount of money as far as what you do with that money and how you implement it and then use it, and as far as I guess living.
Right. We're all supposed to be living on a budget.
Exactly. So I mean, that's basically as far as budgeting goes. That's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably say about the same. Not too much actual formal training, but getting my undergrad and kind of just going through everyday relations here in the football offices, kind of getting exposed to some of the informal stuff about it.
Okay. And the reason I ask is because I think in sport, when you're in sport administration or sport management, there's two or three different veins for finance. And so some of the information you're going to get, because if you notice in the syllabus, I made it marketing and then finance and then marketing and then finance. Because I didn't want it all at once and then I wanted to split it up. But I spent 20 plus years in the YMCA, and we had to market, we had to budget, we had to basically, when I was involved, we didn't have social media when I first started. So everything we did was face to face. And as you well know, word of mouth is always going to be your best way to market whatever you have. It's shown time and time again that word of mouth is the best marketing that's there. However, marketing is more than just putting out the name and what you're doing. When you're doing a sponsorship package, that's marketing. That's a level of marketing. But it involves your finances, right? Because you have to look and say, okay, if I'm going to run this event, I don't care if I'm the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care if I'm the community fun run. The goal is the same, to get somebody else to help pay for what you're providing, right?
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah.
And so you want, and some of that, like if you use the NFL teams, or if you use the NBA teams, or if you use the soccer teams, or what, it doesn't matter. If you can borrow or tag on to their brand, then that could be a connective marketing process, to where eventually it's going to be, oh, I see, Senior Games is attached to MSU, or we've got the Oil Bowl is attached to who? You guys that play football in Texas and Oklahoma, you know about the Oil Bowl. And so when you hear the Oil Bowl, are there specific sponsors that go with that? We just had a big pancake feed last weekend here in Wichita Falls. Everybody knows that that pancake feed is part of the Kiwanis. And that's a brand because they've worked on it now. That pancake feed's been around for quite some time. So we're going to look at some of that stuff. Because it's an 8-week class, we cannot go as in-depth as I would like to see us go. It's just not going to happen. And I don't feel like, because how many of you are taking more than one class this 8 weeks? Everybody? Pretty much? Yeah. And I'm sure the other class is going to be a little bit more difficult than mine, just because it's either going to be Dr. Taylor or Dr. Miller, I think. Is it Wood?
Yeah, I got Wood.
Maybe it's not as difficult. No,
Graduate project.
don't tell her that. But I don't want to overload you guys. We have to make it something. We have to have rigor in our classes. And so that's what we work toward. But I'm coming from the practitioner side instead of the education side. I've been there and done all this at some level. And that's what I want to share with you so that when you finish my class, you feel like, okay, I have a handle on it. I have a better understanding of how to do this successfully. Because there's a difference in being able to do it and doing it successfully. Whether it's marketing, whether it's finance, whatever that is. All right. So that's what we're looking at. Going through the rest of the syllabus, there's a couple things that aren't listed yet for assignments because I just quite wasn't sure. But we are going to, I will get those updated, hopefully, and they'll be all up. Everything will be all up and on the modules before your next Zoom meeting. I know at 6 o'clock you have an assignment that's opening up. It's called The Uniqueness of Sport Marketing. And it has to do with the U.S. Tennis Open. That assignment is coming. I will get the rubric up on that. I completely forgot I hadn't done the rubric for it. I will have that up before Friday because the assignment's due back to me on the 4th. And it's a web assignment. You just need to go to the USA Tennis website, find out some information about the U.S. Open, and answer the 2 questions or 3 questions that are there. Just make sure everything you do is APA formatted, unless specifically I state that there's an adjustment to that, which means you need to have the running head. You need to have the cover page. You need to have page numbers. Page numbers go in the upper right, and it screws up with your running head on the upper left. So you need to figure out how you're going to get those on the same level. That took forever in my doctoral program to figure that out, and then I have to think every time I do it. But if you have questions, let me know. Yes, you have to have subheadings below. So you're going to have the primary heading and the subheadings, because I want you all to get used to writing in APA. That's the standard for anybody in sciences. And since this is, kinesiology and sport management is in that area, that's what we use. So you should see that coming up. Like I said, I think that opens up at 6 o'clock, so you should have that. I will have your chapter 10 reading quiz. That will be up by tomorrow morning, and that will be due on the 5th. So you'll have from Wednesday to Wednesday to get that done. If you've already read it, it should be fairly simple. I will do my best to only have 1 quiz 10 instead of 2 to mess everybody up, because I think it's important to make sure we have what we need and try to make it simple. Please, you guys, don't hesitate if you have a question. If you want to come in and meet with me, that's fine. My office hours are listed on the syllabus. We only have to list 5 hours, but guaranteed. The only day I know that I'm not here consistently is going to be Tuesdays, because I do have practicum graduate students and I have internship students that on Tuesdays I've decided I can go hit my local folks on Tuesday and then make adjustments and look at schedules for hitting those outside of the city and the area for the practicum and internship on other days. But Tuesdays I'm hoping to use once we get really going in the semester to go visit my interns and my practicum students. But I'm around, so if you have questions, don't hesitate to let me know. If you want to pop up to Camp Jolly and come see me, that's fine too. That makes sense. So
I'm definitely I got questions for sure.
And that's fine. That's fine. As far as where you are at the start of the semester, does everybody feel comfortable? Are there any questions y'all have for me that would be beneficial to the rest of the class, since this is on recording?
I got one. The Google site,
I'm
What-
not up to that yet.
Okay, not up to that.
And I'll tell you, I'm trying. Just
That's
doing
all right.
Zoom and doing Flipgrid has been enough for me.
Yeah.
And Dr. Taylor, basically what she did, she gave me everything she'd done when she taught this class last time. And so it just copied to my D2L.
Okay.
So I'm going in, oh my gosh, that's on there. I gotta change the date so they don't see it. And I haven't figured that out yet. I have to do a presentation in Baton Rouge next weekend on Google, the Google platform. And I'm scared to death because I just don't know how to do it. And it makes me nervous.
You got this.
So,
Yeah.
if you see anything on Google and there's nothing there, just realize Shaver hasn't gotten that figured out.
All right.
All right?
Sounds
And
good to me.
if there's ever a question, Nick, just holler at me. It's not a big deal.
Yes, ma'am.
Because y'all know, those of you that have had me before know I'm very quick to say I screwed up. Not a problem.
Me too.
Any questions or concerns?
As far as contacting you and getting in touch with you, what's the quickest way that you respond? You respond faster via email?
Well, it depends on if I will not look at my email unless I just happen to be online grading over the weekend. That's my family time. So when I leave here Friday, whatever time, I may or may not see it on Sunday. So don't count on it. Now, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is where I don't remember what I've done. I'm teaching 5 classes this semester. 6 classes this semester.
Yeah,
My sixth one starts the week of spring break. Aren't my students going to love that?
Ooh.
Outdoor ed, Nick, just so you know. If you have any basketball players, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll warn them.
Yeah, wonderful. I found that out last week. So I don't know if I did this, but I thought I put a Flipgrid topic card up so that if you had questions, you could go to that and put
Oh, yeah, you
something
did.
up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody else can answer it. Go ahead and answer it.
Okay.
All right, because I want to use that kind of as a class. Let's learn from each other. Let's kind of connect with each other.
Right.
And in the past, there had been an opportunity to go down to the Dallas Star for a networking opportunity, and that usually happens in March. And if that comes up again, I will post that and get that out. I used to require that for class, but because we're all online and I have people that are in Grenada or other states that can't come, I can't require it. But I will tell you, if you want to stay in this industry and you want to meet people that are at that level, the profession, and they have people from the community level as well as the minor league and the professional league. They have people from sport media and sport marketing. I think the last time I went, Under Armour was there and they were looking for sales forces. They were looking for people to come in and do some branding stuff. It's a great opportunity to go and kind of connect and meet potential future employers. Or if you want to get your foot in the door as a paid internship at some point, that's another way to do that. I know one of my undergrads went last year, and he actually ended up with an undergraduate internship with the MLS team down at the Star. Great experience, and he's made some good contacts that have already paid off because he's looking to apply through the PGA and some other stuff, because a lot of the stuff we do in this sport administration program, think about it. Marketing, finance, personnel relations, sales, all skills that are transferable. It may not be the sport that you are passionate about, but you may have to start over here and work over to it, because I guarantee you, Eric Sudol at the Dallas Cowboys, who is the vice president of sales for suites and for the big dollar donors, knows people in the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, and so there are connections. And I am a big proponent that I don't care what industry you're in, but since this has been my industry for over 30 years, I have seen time and time again that network will help you step forward. And so utilize that to the best of your ability, because I have seen it happen. Whether you're talking college, you're talking minor leagues, you're talking pro leagues. I got a high school buddy's husband who did all of the marketing print work for the Boston Red Sox, and also LeBron James just happens to be one of his clients.
That's not bad.
Wow.
And I saw him last summer in DC.
Heard of them?
Very cool. I mean, I can go, ooh, look, I can rub shoulders. I didn't meet LeBron, but hey, that's okay.
Hey, nothing better than that.
Set up if you need to.
Just one of those deals. So that's where we are with this. If you guys have looked, knowing that I wanted to do the case study discussion on the next Zoom meeting, scheduled for February 18th at 12:30. Do you think that's okay, or do I need to change that time? This is where you guys tell me what's going to work best.
You said February 18th?
February 18th, which is a Tuesday, but I put it at 12:30 noon, at 12:30 in the afternoon. I know everybody works and has different schedules. So what I need you to do is look at your schedule and then either email me or go on that Flipgrid and tell me what date and time is going to work best for y'all, or we can sit here and discuss it and figure it out so whoever watches this video at the end knows that I've changed it.
It's not great for me if it's going to be an hour long or 45 minutes long, just because we do afternoon practice on Tuesdays with my nationals team. So evenings are generally better, but since I'm in charge of the practices, I can probably move them on the field.
Who else? What other input?
If it's an hour long, I mean, that's fine for me. I don't see any problems, but never know.
I understand. I understand. But that's why I want to give you a heads up. I'm sorry?
That day and time work well for me. Tuesday evenings are bad because we've either got soccer or basketball games that I'll have to be at. Cover it like right now, soccer's going on. I've got somebody here helping, but if something had to happen, I'd have to leave the meeting and go take care of them. So typically evenings on Tuesdays and Fridays are awful, but during the daytime or evenings on other days would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Tuesday evening would be bad, but Tuesday at like noon, 12 o'clock, that would be fine. My lunchtime.
Okay.
I'm good.
So yeah, if it 12:30 would be bad because my class would come in at 12:50, but 12 o'clock, I'll be all right.
You want me to move? Would it be better to move it back to 12? You guys tell me.
Yeah, that does work better for me.
Yeah.
12 good with me.
I'll take my lunch and I'll be fine.
Okay. Then I will move that Zoom meeting to 12.
Perfect.
All right. And what I will do is probably next week, so that you have time, is I will tell you which case study in this book you need to be looking at. And I may assign you some so you can maybe work together with. Would you want to do this one independently, or do you want to work with one or two other people? Because like I said, I've got 23 in this class.
Probably be easier to do it by yourself.
Okay, that's fine. And it's just more of a discussion.
I just want to hang out.
Yeah, my brief online experience with group projects has been that it goes disastrously.
Oh, come on, Charlie. Tell me how you really feel.
If anybody want to come down to Houston and help me, I'm good with that.
Well, and what I'm thinking is if I can do this like a class discussion, then it's not going to be so much another assignment you have to write out. It's a class discussion. It's just like being in class and discussing a topic. Does that make sense? So that's going to save you on some writing and some time. You're going to have to prep for it so we can have a good discussion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm kind of overlapping with people, but yeah, I just don't like joint assignments.
And I don't have a problem with that. I don't like to do them, but when I get a class that's too big, I get too much to grade and I get behind. And anybody who's had me before knows that I can get behind anyway. So, and I'm trying to do better. The child is off at college. I have no excuse, especially when the husband is traveling. But I still, even at my age, I would rather go out and play than to do work. So that's where.
Amen.
Always.
How would you guys feel if I just kind of randomly assign 2 or 3 case studies and we could discuss them that way, or do you want to just stay with one case study and discuss it?
I like doing multiple ones, kind of cover more ground.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there'll be different angles depending on which one you do. So
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really have a preference.
Okay.
Even if it might run longer, I'm all right with that.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will. Okay. Then I will move that one to 12 o'clock. Where is it? I lost it already. There it is. So that'll be 12 o'clock. And I will do 3 different case studies, and we'll just kind of divide it up. And I'll assign them. I'll put it up on probably, it'll be in the module as an assignment, but there won't be a Dropbox other than I may have you do an outline of your talking points.
Okay.
That makes sense. So that I can see when we get ready to talk about it, I know what to expect to a certain degree.
Yeah,
That makes
no
sense.
problem.
Yeah,
And
we're
that'll be
good.
more of a class participation. Let's discuss and see what it is, instead of you all having to write big, long papers that you really don't want to write.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds great.
MVP.
All right. Y'all that are new to me, you'll get used to me eventually. You know, it's just how it is. Ask Nick, ask Charlie. Jamal's had me enough, he knows too. So that's all I have, unless you guys have questions.
Nope.
Like I said, if you talk to anybody in the class, let them know what's going on. I'm going to put this up as soon as I get it transferred to YouTube. It'll be up on the news section for anybody to see it that's not here. We'll go from there. I appreciate y'all coming on and spending some time with me this evening.
Sure thing. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Yes.
You too.
Thanks.
How do you